The artist I was assigned is Paula Scher. She was born in October of 1948 in Virginia. She grew up in Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. She had a very unhappy childhood. She found it very hard to connect with her family as she was the only artistic one. She felt like an outcast and spent a lot of time drawing in her room. She used it as an escape. Her father was a very successful photogrammetric engineer. He designed maps and created a device used to correct the lens distortion in aerial photos. When Cher was in high school, she attended art classes on the weekends, but never told anybody because it was considered something that wasn't cool. She attended Tyler School of Art and got a bachelor's in fine arts. While she was at Tyler, she experimented with many types of art but continued to fail. Her junior year of college, she discovered graphic design and stuck with it. After college, she moved to New York and got her first job, designing the inside of children's books. She moved on to work in the promotion department at CBS Records, but was unhappy because the work she was doing was looked down on by the other designers. She then got a job doing similar work at Atlantic Records for about a year. She was offered a job back at CBS Records as the East Coast art director. There, she was responsible for around 150 record covers each year. She worked as the art director for CBS Records for 10 years when she decided she wanted to pull away from the music and record scene. She partnered with a magazine designer and they started their own business. When the first Gulf War happened in 1990, there was a recession, which meant there were no more magazines to be designed. Her partner took another job while she ran the company alone for a few months. She was approached by someone who worked at Pentagram, and he asked if she was interested in working there. She said yes, and she's been there since 1991. The first piece of art is a record cover Cher did for Bob James. The record is called Heads. She designed this record cover in 1977. It's a 12 3/8 inch square, and it is a lithograph. A lithograph is a style of printmaking, and it's a style she used frequently in her earlier projects. This next piece is another record cover. This one is for Johnny Winter's record called White, Hot, and Blue. This piece was done in 1978. I really love the bright colors used and the very simple white typography in the upper corners. They complement one another nicely. Up next is yet another record cover. This was done in 1979. The typography across the top of the record is almost industrial and fun to look at. It's a good contrast between the more feminine side of the mannequins. Next, we have a piece called Best of Jazz, also done in 1979. The combination of different size and color fonts, as well as the placement of each set of words, makes for a really fun composition. Here we have another record cover. This is for Bob James' record titled H. It was done in 1980. This piece is particularly interesting because the other side of the record cover continued the image, so if you were to open it, it would be one continuous image. This is a screen-printed poster Cher did for a production at the Public Theater. I enjoy the contrast between the darker blue color and the vibrant yellow, and the font she chose for this poster is very bold and draws in your attention. This is another poster done for the Public Theater. Cher does a great job using contrast to draw in the eyes similarly to how she did in the last poster. Up next, we have another poster for the Public Theater. She did quite a few posters for them. The next piece is also for them as well. Cher has a very interesting approach to how she places her type on a poster with turning the words and using different font sizes. This is the last poster that I chose, and I chose it again for her interesting use of type. Cher had worked a lot with music and theater early on in her career, but she's also responsible for creating the brand identities for many big companies. A few examples are Citibank, Tiffany, Microsoft Windows, and many more. She began working with Citi in 1998 and continues to work with them today. She created this logo and the brand identity, and nothing has changed. In 2006, Scher created this logo for the Metropolitan Opera. This is a very well-known and easily recognizable logo. This is another brand identity Scher created. This logo has a very interesting story that goes along with it. The circle with the square hole in it represents a square peg in a round hole, which represents that there is no normal when it comes to mental health. Tiffany is a really popular brand that Scher designed for. She updated the type used, added the Tiffany blue color to the inside of each box, and changed the name on the box from being printed on to a silver foil. Up next, we have the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. Scher created this logo among other architectural designs. Scher also worked with Microsoft to reinvent the Windows logo. It used to be a colorful flag-looking logo, but now it is a simple blue rectangle with simple blue type. Finally, we have my favorite piece of art by Scher. Philadelphia Explained is a massive painting planned by Scher and painted by Scher herself and 154 others. The walls are all hand-painted, and the design on the carpet was printed in 3 large strips and installed. Philadelphia Explained is located at the Tyler School of Art at Temple University. Paula Scher is a very successful and influential member of the graphic design community, and I am very happy that I was able to get her to do my research on.